footy right. Here's footy right.
All right, welcome to Solar Wholesalers Oval here in Echunga. As you can see on camera, got two incredible human beings now. We've got Michael Warburton, an assistant coach of Echunga, Brett Turner joining us as well. So I'll hand it over to Michael and we'll get it underway. Here you go, sir.
Thanks, Goldie. Brett, or BT, as we're known.
Yeah.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. A bit cold up here, but all right.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Oh, yeah, he's going to move them on. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So, mate, we'll go back a little bit. Tell me about how footy started for you and as a junior and where it all started, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I started out at Flagstaff Hill as a junior, and then sort of more played basketball growing up, and here and there, a few footy games, and then round about under 16s, I reckon, sort of made the jump over and ended up at West Adelaide and played, I think, about 10 years out at West Adelaide, and then, made the jump over to Glenelg in 21, I reckon it was, and, been going ever since.
Yeah. Nice. And success, not so much at West Adelaide, but at Glenelg, played in the Premiership?
Yeah, well, I mean, Westie's had success. I think it's their 10-year reunion this year. So they had success when I was about 18. But a couple years there were a bit tough, but across at Glenelg, obviously, won a flag, and they've had a bit of a footy factory there as of recent, to be honest. It's good breeding ground there, so go the Bays.
Go the Bays. Well, a little Westies connection for me, mate, but that's all right. But so we got Glenelg a couple of years? Yeah,
Glenelg 21, half of 22, and then 23, so yeah.
And in that time at Glenelg, mid-season draft, Crows?
Yep. Yeah, it's like 3 months in the end when you do it, but a couple months over at the Crom, and now we're here.
Yeah, beautiful. And now we're here. It's great having you here. Brett's second year at the club. How are you finding? Obviously, last year you played Div 1. Now we've gone down to Div 2. How are you finding that? Yeah,
Div 1, pretty challenging last year. Sort of went into every game thinking we're going to win, as you do. And obviously just the level of competition up here with all the boys that come back up through the hills and play. It was a challenging year, and then obviously made the decision to go down to Div 2 and had some success here so far. So early days, but we'll keep going.
Yeah, and then with our squad, obviously we're a lot younger this year. A couple of experienced guys. You've brought one with you. Tell us a little about Chris.
Yeah, so Chrissy Perotto, we grew up playing footy, went to primary school together, and he's been out of footy for about 5 years. So he did his knee when he was like 18 or 19, I think it was, and then sort of didn't play too much footy. And we got him out here for a couple of trainings last year, but 5 years out the game, you just sort of... You need a pre-season. You need your body to get used to it. So, he's done the work now, and he's out here kicking a few goals, which is good. And it's, just good to play with him again,
Yeah, he seems to fit in nicely. Obviously, he's injured at the moment. Hopefully, we get him back in the next week or two. And then a couple of younger guys. Who's stood out for you so far in the first 4 rounds? Yeah,
so Logan Hickman probably is the main one that I would say stood out for me. I know the work that he did in the pre-season, so just it translates so easily to footy when you have that big pre-season. But like Jackson Perry, Tyler Searle, Tyler Searle's about a shoulder length above everyone when he goes to market at the minute, which is good to kick to. So Georgie Hilda coming up. We've got a good crop of young lads coming through at the minute. Will Anning as well on the ball. Got some talent coming up, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously the B grade are going well as well. I've dropped the first game on the weekend, but good just to have a winning culture around the club again.
Yeah, it's good. I knew last year being here, and even though we were losing, the culture was still always great. It was always great to have a beer here after the game, and that sort of, you hear the stories of, when you're winning, it's that much better, and it's exactly right. It's just a good community club.
Yeah. So then how do you, so far so good for the season, what do you think our ambitions or our goals are?
Yeah, I mean, early days right now. Obviously, if you don't play footy to win premierships, you're probably playing the wrong sport, you know what I mean? But, being in May right now, it's a long season ahead. It comes down to survival of the fittest. So we'll see how it goes. But obviously ambitions are pretty high right now where we are. But, a lot of footy to be played between now and then.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And the last one for me is ovals. Obviously, they're in good nick at the moment. A couple of different ones we've seen, a couple more to come. Difference between Div 1 Div 2? Any different challenges there, do you think? Or?
Birdwood Oval was an interesting ground to play on, but what do they call it, the Pringle or something like that. So, no, it was good though. The deck was great, but it just is. It's footy, at the end of the day, it's a ball that you kick around on a field, so it doesn't really matter where you play.
Exactly, mate. Well, I'll hand over to the main man, Goldie, and he can ask you a couple of questions, mate.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Brett. In terms of growing up, who were some early mentors for you that really projected you forward in your footy career?
Yeah, so Chris Schmidt was a bit of a mentor for me at West Adelaide. Took me under his wing from a pretty young age and sort of showed me the ropes, what to do, what not to do. Andy Collins initially was the first sort of footy coach that really sort of tried to get me to transition over from basketball to footy. And so he was a massive part of my early sort of footy career as the head league coach at West Adelaide there when I was there. But yeah, Chris Schmidt, definitely one of my main mentors growing up.
In terms of the period at Glenelg, can you understand why that dominance is, I guess, still there with the Bays, and what in particular did you notice when you were there? It was building up to this.
Yeah, so obviously played against the Bays for, I think it was like 6 years at league footy, and sort of had a couple of mates that went there from West Adelaide initially. And the year I was going to go there, I actually wasn't going to play. Like, I was just going to have a year off after, I think it was the COVID year in 2020, and then had a dinner with Liam McBean and Thomas Schott, and what are you going to do next year? I was like, don't know. So yeah, ended up going over there, and just initially first thing that sort of hit me right in the face was the culture that they had already built at the club, obviously winning in 2019 and having some success over the years. So yeah, the culture at the club and the sort of one club mentality is just the way they go about it, and the community down there, like the fans and even past players that come through, they really have a connection there that you can buy into and, get to learn a bit about the history as opposed to, not knowing the old heads that come through, like Peter Carey, Nick Chigwidden, like all these sort of legends of the club that you get to meet personally, and they're at every event. It's it's the way I like to do it. It's a good area there.
You noticed that here at Echunga too, with the legends that I guess sit in this area where we are now and give you advice or that sort of stuff? Yeah,
I remember vividly chatting out here with Butch before the game, Rhodey, and I was sort of saying, we're playing Harndorf round one. I had big ambitions for that game, and he was sort of telling me, it might be a bit of a struggle. And just being able to chat to some of the older heads that are around here. You always have a beer with them after the game or a wine, and it's been good to sort of get blooded in and just meet everyone that way.
In terms of Big Will Lachlan, can you tell us about his connection with you? Because he obviously made an impact here last year, and whether there's a chance maybe he can make an appearance now that the Demons are in a good position in country division. Yeah,
Big Will, the big fella. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. He's obviously back over in the States at the minute and took the opportunity to come over here and play some footy last year. So, yeah, hopefully we get to see the big fella back, but we'll see how it goes.
What was that like for you personally, seeing him come out and give Aussie rules a crack for the first time and count himself well against like Loberthor, kicking 4 goals here one?
Yeah, being 6'10" helps. Yeah. But he's just a natural athlete, natural competitor. Played some Div 1 basketball over at CU in Denver. So yeah, he's just a natural competitor, and I knew he'd take to the game pretty quickly. Playing basketball myself, sort of growing up, I know the transition correlates very well. So yeah, but yeah, being 6'10" is great, but it's learning the intricate details of footy and where you can stand, where you can't stand. That was the step that he had to make, and towards the end of the year, it was just like he'd played footy his whole life,
The USA chant under here.
Yeah. No, that was awesome. We got around the big fella, so yeah, it was good.
Are you a bit of a footy nuffy yourself? Do you like that side of it?
Well, they're yelling from the side and that. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I've been copping it the last 2 weeks, to be honest, which we had some fellas from Meadows down in the pocket the other week. So yeah, I enjoy it. You like that's footy culture, and like you don't take it personally. It just sort of is what it is. But I do enjoy a bit of lip. Yeah, it's good.
What are your strengths in footy? I mean, you got plenty, but yeah, what do you pride yourself on?
Clearance work, yeah, I guess. Yeah, just sort of getting a body on the ball and sort of being in the right spot at the right time is probably the main one, I'd say.
And who are some people that you learnt from in terms of those abilities?
Yeah. Our favourite player is Scott Pendlebury, so sort of always watched his game and how he has lots of time and just tried to sort of emulate that. But Rory Sloane at the Crows as well was a big one. I grew up going for the Crows my whole life, so sort of seeing him, how he played. And we went to the Crows when I was in year 10, I reckon. We did like a camp there and stuff. So yeah, just sort of seeing those players as they grow up, how they go about it, and even the off-field stuff. I think Pendle's got his own app or something. It's shows you what he does game day, all the stretches and all that sort of stuff. So just seeing the professionalism of that side was good.
And being picked up on by the Crows, what was that like? And your thoughts on the mid-season draft, because I think it's coming up again. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, I mean, not every experience is a good one, but it was an experience. Let's put it that way. But at the end of the day, sort of going in with a fractured foot when they picked me up was a bit hard to sort of get your level of fitness back and all that sort of stuff. But no excuses. I could have played better. Like, that's probably the first thing you can look at. But at the end of the day, you have conversations with people, and I'm a man. I can take it. It's fine. But at the end of the day, you probably want to be told just how it is rather than sort of getting strung along for a while. But that's fine. Like no qualms. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy where I'm at now, and I'm glad I had to go through that experience. But yeah, a bit of a weird one. But what do you do?
Michael, you touched on Glenelg before being a bit of a footy factory. There's been a couple of guys lately picked up mid-season draft from Glenelg as well. You know anything about those boys, or?
Yeah, so not so much. Like Matty Coulthard went in 23, I reckon. He went to Richmond. I think there's a few boys looking at it at the minute. I'm hoping James Bell gets a look at it. You know, the body of work that he's put in over the last few years is, just credit to him as a person and where he's got himself to. So, yeah, mid-season draft, like I wouldn't mind a mid-year trade period, to be honest, because then you do take away, like me and Sammy Durden went in 2022 from Glenelg. So, like, I like the opportunity that you give to players because at the end of the day, you're playing footy to play AFL if you're taking it that serious, which I understand. But I would like a mid-year trade period. That would be good.
I'd probably agree with you on that. I think was Toby Pink. Was he good Glenelg as well?
Yeah, Toby. He went at the end of the year. But he, so you see him on the weekend? See that? Yeah. No, it was good. No, Tobe's good. Yeah, one of my good mates. He's slotted in nicely there at North Melbourne. And, hopefully he gets another contract extension. I know they were talking about that after the game. So,
Mark Keane liked him the week before, good Echunga boy, Mark Keane. With him and Joshua Shelley up here last year.
That's right.
But, and we'll just, last one at Glenelg. So, a bloke like, is it Lockie Hosey? Feels like he'd been unlucky not to be picked up at some time.
Yeah, I mean, he had a pretty rough run there. I think when he got drafted, it was like COVID that next year. They played in the bubble and then sort of came out the year after that. But, yeah, look, I think any club would be lucky to have Lockie Hosey at the end of the day. You see what he does on the field and, it's a star.
No, fair enough, mate. I think, we've just about taken up enough of your time, I reckon. All the best, obviously, for the rest of the year. I hope you go well, personally, obviously, clearly. I'm involved at the club, but it's great having you here, mate, and especially with the work you do with the juniors as well from time to time and being present. It's great. The club loves it. I think, Goldie, you finish off.
I mean, what have you noticed since being here at Echunga? What do you love about the club?
The atmosphere, there's a good family club, like good community. Obviously not the largest in size in comparison to some of the other clubs that we played, especially last year being in Div 1, but just the atmosphere and the family environment that everyone knows each other, It's a good club to be a part of.
Beautiful. Michael, you wrap it up, and thanks very much, Brett, for joining us.
All right, cheers.
Thanks, Ben. Again, BT, thanks for your time, mate. I know it's not your favourite thing to do from time to time, mate, but we appreciate it. All the best, like I said, for the rest of the year. Hope you go well for us, and hopefully we can hold up the cup at the end of the year, mate. Perfect. Thanks, mate.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
It's fully right.